Question of the day. Prompt question, opening question of the day. Nothing says I love you like blank. Nothing says I love you like blank. So you can write your answers in the chat. Maybe we might share some. Let me know what you're thinking or feeling. Nothing says I love you like someone making hot chocolate with whipped cream for me. I like that. That's for me. Ooh, seeing someone.
That
yes.
Whoever keeps whipped cream on hand.
That's what I'm saying.
Just for you.
Who has cans of whipped cream anymore, you know?
That's love.
Okay. Ooh, a strong lingering hug. Yes, talk about it, Michael.
Ooh, I just thought about it and really embodied thinking about it, and I felt a chill go over my body. Nothing says I love you like being supported and held by people that care about me.
Mm-hmm.
And learning that people care about me when they show up when I need them, like when they show up when I need them.
Beautiful. Hi, Danny. Good morning. Love that pink hair. Hello.
Hi, morning.
Hi, she came through. She said, bow. Loving it. Thank you. She says, nothing says I love you like sending a song and saying this reminded me of you. Love that. Send me a playlist, baby. I want a long extended playlist, okay? Yes. We've got some beautiful humans joining us today for our empathy workout. We've got, well, now our soul medicine, before it was Soul Serpent, but Fatima. She's going to be giving us a talk, a nice interview on self-love and universal love. Then we've got Nguyen. It's going to give us a nice talk and journaling session. Social scientist queen, okay? And we'll have a closing love meditation with Indi Rishi, laughing meditation, which is really cool because everybody needs to laugh once a day. I think it's so important. Keeps us rejuvenated, healthy, young, alive. The more smiles we have, and the more we can smile, the less wrinkles we have too. That's what I heard. So I'm super invested in smiling every day. But let's get started. Anyone else want to share what love feels like? Yeah, Jennifer, please go. Mina.
Hold on. Oh, nothing says I love you like eating chocolate.
Ooh. Yes. Crucial. Okay, I've just been getting into chocolate as I've gotten older, and I see what I've been missing out on. It's good. Where's Fatima? Is Fatima in here? Where is she at?
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I'm super excited. Hey, everyone.
Am I muted? No, I'm back in action. Amazing. Fatima is...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Beautiful.
Yes, beautiful. I would love to answer the question.
I was just about to ask you if you can answer the question,
yes,
so go for it.
Yes. So nothing says I love you like someone saying, don't worry about it, baby. I got you. Like if I got dishes, they're like, don't worry about it. I got you. Or if I got laundry, don't worry about it. I got you. Like, I love that so much.
Listen, you have no idea. I love that. I got you. That's support.
Yes. That
ultimately.
Active service.
Okay, love language, active service.
Right?
Do things for me.
Yes.
Yes, okay. We're here today, starting us off on this workout. Wanted to pretty much talk to you about what we're here today for, self-love and universal love and the quality of our love and how do we build that and share that and understand it as a community and as humans. So you tell us a bit about yourself, Fatima, and what you do, where you're from, give us a little bit, and then I'll go into some questions if that's cool.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm Fatima.
Yeah.
So I'm a queer, non-binary, mixed Black Filipina from Harlem, but I'm currently living in the Bronx. So I just rep Uptown. If you're from New York, you already know. So I am an herbalist. I got my certification in 2019. I'm a huge lover of the earth. And I also just love my fellow human. I'm a huge supporter in people's individual self-healing. We are our own healers, our own teachers, and I'm just a person who wants to empower that innate ability to heal oneself. So I offer healing sessions, one-on-one healing sessions, group sessions, where we talk about our inner child, so childhood trauma, how our childhood shapes our personality, our way of seeing the world. And then I also offer like heart-to-heart conversations, soul guidance conversations. These are basically just open discussions about whatever is on your spirit or your heart. And then I ask questions to guide you towards your highest self. It's something that I'm super passionate about and I've been doing for 7 years. And yeah, I'm super excited to talk about love and explore that with y'all.
Yes, that's beautiful. 7 years of pretty much developing deeper bonds within ourselves. I think that's amazing. And I think which, essentially leads me to my first question for you. When we're thinking about deepening our loves for ourselves and loving ourselves unconditionally, what are some, I guess you can speak about your personal perspective and then maybe perspectives you've seen or heard from other people you've worked with.
Yeah.
But what are some reactions you have when you think about loving yourself unconditionally? And this might be a range of emotions, contradictory ones as well. So totally okay if that's the case, but what are those for you? If you can talk about
that. So the honest reactions that I have, it brings me back to when I first started my self-love journey. There was a lot of fear wrapped around loving myself unconditionally because there's this inner judge, inner critic, inner harsh voice that a lot of us have inherited and prevents us from truly loving ourselves unconditionally without judgment. So that's the first reaction, the first memory. And then the other reaction is this sense of freedom and flexibility and just joy in the things that I do and the things that I'm passionate about, and understanding that I'm a human who's going to make mistakes, who's going to mess up. And regardless of that, I'm still worthy of loving myself. Regardless of anybody outside of me, regardless of what the world says, what people say, what society says, what the systems in place say, me, myself, and I can love myself unconditionally, regardless of what I've been through, what I've done. It's an exercise. It's a practice. My other reaction is like, that's a little hard. It's a little challenge. It's challenging to do.
Okay.
So of course, loving myself is a reflection of how the community loves me. We need each other to learn how to love ourselves.
Right. Let me ask you this. Where in your body, when you feel these emotions, right? Where in your body do you feel it the most when you feel like?
My chest. My heart chakra. I feel it right now, like sitting very calmly in my chest.
Yeah.
It's not exactly where my heart is, like on the left, but it's more in the center. Our heart chakra is chakras are energy points in the body. And our heart chakra has to do with our ability to be compassionate, our ability to love, our ability to move authentically, because authenticity is a branch of love.
Yes.
You have to be authentic when you love yourself. You've got to be truly honest. when loving. That's
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So being authentic and having kind of authenticity within that frame of thought, what are some rules you find that you can relinquish to love yourself or love others unconditionally? You know, when you're talking about authenticity and what it means to be honest in that space, you know, what does that mean for you?
Yes. That question reminds me of this post that I saw on Instagram. I wish that I could, correctly cite the person who said this, but it was a Black person, a Black woman, an actress. I really wish I knew her name, but she's incredible. Something that she said was, when I would receive goodness from the world, I've trained myself to immediately give back. So when I receive, I've trained myself to immediately give back instead of pausing and just receiving the blessing. So this inherited mindset that we are in debt when we receive kindness. We are in debt and we must return it. But unconditional love is sometimes just sitting in the blessing that we receive, in the kindness that we receive, in the love that we receive, and just receiving it, receiving it. So I would relinquish the rule that I owe people. We do not owe anything to anyone. Of course, there's basic principles of kindness and love and respect and understanding. But when we receive a blessing, let's truly pause and receive it instead of rushing to respond and being like, here's love back. Of course, that's a beautiful response to embody. But how can we truly give if we haven't allowed ourselves to fully receive?
That is something I know I've been working on for so long right now. I've been on my own personal journey of self-love, and the concept of not owing anyone anything has truly helped me just move forward in that and to just allow myself to receive. I mean, the amount of things I'm receiving right now in my life is so amazing and so beautiful because I'm literally sitting and letting it come. And it's so hard to do that when we're taught in so many ways that, you know, you're right, we're not allowed. We're supposed to be cautious about it or weary or think twice about it. Someone's giving me something, what does that mean? And I think it's so important what you're saying. Like, you don't know anyone anything. You're absolutely right. I love that. My last question for you is, what would you, or what advice would you offer? Ideas, concepts, pathways to making sure we stay committed to loving ourselves. What would you do? What would you say for yourself? Like, to make sure you stay committed to loving yourself.
Yes.
Because it translates out to other people.
Yes, exactly. I would say, like, because during this pandemic, honestly, I've been experiencing a lot of depressing moments. And I think a lot of people can resonate with that. This is a tough time. This is a traumatic time. And we are working with it. We are managing it the best that we can. But I would say, in order to love myself, flow into the darkness. Like, if I'm feeling depressed, doing the shadow work, like, but I know saying that can be a little like, what does that mean? Like, when
daunting.
Daunting. When I am feeling like when I wake up and my body's like, we need to stay in bed, letting that happen. Because before COVID, were we truly letting ourselves rest in this capitalistic system? Have we truly been allowing ourselves to rest? Is there space to rest now? That's a real question that we must ask ourselves and answer through action. And that action is allowing it and making space for that to happen. So rest is a huge component in loving myself, in fulfilling myself, in making sure that I have the vitality, the energy, because when we're depleted, we tap into hate as a source. When we are depleted in any way, we tap into hate. So rest is a huge ingredient in nurturing our ability to love.
Wow. Resting, whoosh, 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 whoosh. I can't even tell you what that means to me right now in my life. My whole entire life, I don't think I've ever really stopped or taken a moment to say, hey, what am I doing? Go to sleep, take it, breathe. Take a moment, pause. And that's just done me so much service. I actually see we've got some questions. Jennifer's right here. Mina, she's asking, what self-care methods do you usually use?
Ooh, okay. So, we are ever-changing beings. My self-care methods are always changing. But as of recently, I have just been playing songs that make me want to dance and moving. During COVID, we're inside a lot. So just moving that energy, making sure that it's out of my body, singing, even if my voice, feels a little weird. Really tapping into this, sense of freedom during a time where there's so much closed boxedness,
Mm-hmm.
y'all know what's going on.
I know.
But moving, truly moving intentionally, if that's dancing, if that's yoga, if that's working out. I have a personal trainer, and I'm learning, different martial art movements, and that's a huge thing. We all have different abilities in our bodies.
Right.
So seeing, what feels good when we move, because energy gets trapped in our physical bodies. We got to make sure that we are keeping motion in our world. Yeah.
I totally agree with that, especially as a mover, someone who's into movement. I truly agree with that. Get that body moving in action. I see some other questions in here. Let's see. We've got Donna. Thank you, Donna. How do you quiet or manage that inner judge that can keep us from loving ourselves?
Yes. Okay, so that is a big, if this harsh critic, this inner judge, was a buffet, it would be an endless one. It would be an endless buffet. It would be, so we have to just start small, start extremely small. So the first step that I took personally was shifting my inner self-talk. So creating a new voice, creating a new inner voice that is sourcing from love.
And it's not easy.
It's not easy. It is a practice. It is you have to be disciplined about loving yourself. It's a discipline. When I wake up, I started this, like I said, 7 years ago. But now, 7 years in this present moment, the first thing I do when I wake up is say, "Good morning, I love you so much," to myself. And it seriously shifts things in my mind. Our brains desire knowledge. Our brains are so strong. It is always eating up the things around us. And it hyper values what we say to ourselves. So the first step in quieting that voice is creating one of love that becomes louder and louder and louder through practice. It's not easy, and doing it alongside somebody, alongside someone, can make it a lot easier. I see that there's more questions. So, and also, I also want to be mindful of time. So just checking in.
Yes, you got like 2 more minutes. I just want to get one more question in. I like these questions.
Yeah, me too.
Let's do, Michael gave one. Do you have any practices for tapping into what generational trauma exists within your family that you wish to heal?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And thank you, Mimi, for that.
Yes.
Tom, thank you.
Yeah. So intergenerational trauma, that is a large, heavy weight on all of our spirits, genetically and energetically. So in our genes, we have trauma, and then energetically, just spiritually, we have an inherited trauma. I feel like this is it's such a case-by-case basis, but in a broad umbrella way of looking at it from a bird's eye view. I would just sit with my family, a family member that I feel safe with, and listen to their life story. And then see what that triggers in me. Because their life story will have reflections. There will be reflections. It will reflect your own life story. And then certain things will blossom. It may be traumatic. Loving, the act of loving is
radical.
It's radical. It takes a warrior. You have to be a warrior to love. In this day and age, you have to be fierce when it comes to loving, because it's
fierce
not
and focused.
Easy. Yes, exactly. So that's one first step. And also there's different meditations that you can look up to tap into your ancestral wisdom and knowledge. But yeah, listening to your family's life story. I know that was the last question. I'm so grateful for the space, for these amazing wonderings and the oops, sorry, I got a call. But
I'm back.
Yes, we're back. I love the curiosity. And if anyone feels called to connect with me, my Instagram is Our Soul Medicine. You can find it on Actually Curious's Instagram. If you have questions, my DMs are open. If you feel called to book a session with me, I would absolutely love that. I barter. We can talk about, because COVID is hard, so I exchange services. We can talk about discounts. I am just here to be a supporter of your healing. And I am incredibly grateful. Thank you,
Fatima,
so much.
You're amazing. So
Thank
happy
you.
you were here to start this off. Yes. Okay, so moving right on. I'm so excited. Moving into our physical grounding. All right, everybody. We were just talking about self-love, and something Fatima said earlier was that she wakes up every day and says, I love yourself. So what I want everyone to do is take a moment and just follow what I'm doing and repeat after me. I love my face. I love my little nose, my big nose, my whatever nose, whatever the hell it is. I love my eyebrows. I love my little edges of my hair. I love my neck because it allows me to speak and open up pathways of conversation. I love my hands, my fingers, because they open up doors to alternate universes and present realms and other people. I love my arms just because they're long and expansive. I love my shoulders because your girl loves to shimmy. Yes, okay, come on, y'all. You better shimmy, okay? I love my knees because, they bend and they keep me functioning. I love my legs because they're cute. You feel me? Like, love all of me. I just want you to touch all of your body. I love all of me. I just want you to say that. I love all of me in all totality. In the dark, in the sorrow, in the happiness, in the joy, in the love. And just hold your face and say, I love me. I love me. And I love me every day. Y'all look so cute. How's everybody feeling? Good, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, we got Mimi up next. Mimi, where you at, Memes?
Hello.
Yes, how are you?
Oh my God, I have the giggles now.
That's what we like to hear, because I like to laugh. And we're going to be doing that a lot more later, so don't worry.
So, thank you so much for everything.
Yes, thank you for being here today. Shout out to Tom in the back. I like that blue background. Y'all look fabulous. Is it blue? I don't know. Is it white?
Like a gray blue.
Okay, I'm into it. I like it. It's beautiful. Calming, which is nice. Tell us about yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Mimi. What can I say? I am a queer first-generation Vietnamese artist and scholar. I recently graduated with my master's in social science with a concentration in demography and social analytics. My other educational background, I got 2 BAs in sociology and psychology. For today, I have like a PowerPoint presentation, a little academic might be, but I'll keep it fun, I'll keep it light.
Yes, we love knowledge. Sharing is caring, okay?
Yeah, and hopefully I can cover what is being queer, or like how to be queer, attain being queer in like our everyday lives, and talk a little bit more about atypical romantic intimate relationships. So like poly, consensual non-monogamy, solo poly, polycurious, and poly monoflux.
You have no idea how hyped I am to hear all these phrases, because I'm newly committed to being polyamorous, and I've recently started identifying as queer because it just makes sense for me as a human being. And yes. You said poly monoflex. What?
Yeah, that one is fun, and it's a lot of exploration. It takes a lot of time, but I think it's totally worth it. So yeah, I have that ready. I can share my screen whenever.
Yeah, let's get into it, please.
It's like dense, and I'm trying to also get a journal thing in. So like, you know, if
let's
you want
go.
time with time, like feel free. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for being here. Let's get started. So happy Valentine's Day. It's such a lovely, commercialized, capitalistic approach to monetizing a beautiful human experience of chemical chaos. As much as I love the dopamine hit and oxytocin hits, there's a lot to unravel in this holiday that is focused on cis heteronormative dyad relationships. So I want to start off with a few dense things. The theorist that founded gender identity and coined queer theory, who is Butler. So Butler, and she has work previous to this too, but I just wanted to quote her 1990 work. She argues that heteronormativity is related to gender inequality. And fortunately, we have queer perspective to question the heteronormative relationships on gender, sex, and heterosexuality and its effects. Queer theory also aims to avoid privileging one component of an identity to another, thus allowing us to examine a range of different ways people may define themselves we also know that as intersectionality. And it's really hard to define queer per se. It could be an action or an identity or a sexuality. And I've used it in ways like my gender identity and also my sexuality. What's so wonderful about it is it's an umbrella term and it's subjective and self-defined to the individual. So one of my favorite definitions though of queer is fuck anything that's institutionalized or normalized. I can hear all the snaps in the background. Wonderful. So just to give like a really quick overview though of what I mean by things that are institutionalized or normalized, I'm going to give what we understand as traditional gender roles for the binary, which is men and women. So, we normally see women as naturally more emotional, empathetic, supportive, reactive, and more interdependent within a community, in contrast to men. And, we normally see men as aggressive, dominant, stoic, independent, leadership worthy, or at least that's what's noted in previous research of how we understand traditional gender roles. Ideally, what we can do to stay queer is address that whatever institutionalized, like heteronormative, cis heteronormative traits are associated to the binary. And after we address them with ourselves, within ourselves, and with others, the best thing that I find to queer it is to then challenge these traits and experiment by subverting them or rebelling them. What I mean by that is, like, let's say you're a man, you're someone who identifies as a man, and you really like pink and you really love to cry. Go to the movies, wear your favorite pink whatever, and just fucking tear up on the most dramatic scenes, like no one's watching, but everyone's watching because you're fabulous. Another thing that we can do is whenever we hear phrases from our friends or family or ourselves, when we hear things like girls don't, and then men don't, or boys don't, and we can ask ourselves, well, why not? Another thing we can ask ourselves, well, why not, are in romantic relationships. So there are multiple romantic relationship dynamics. I only have a few listed here because that's what I want to touch on. And due to time, I want to make sure that I can get this in if people are coming into fruition with these terms. So we have polycurious, consensual non-monogamy, or I'm going to say C&M after that point, polyamory, solo poly, and ambimorious or polymonoflux. So I'm going to give the definitions that I've either researched into or that I have like self-identified, but I just want to note that not everybody is going to have the same definition, especially because people are going to have different boundaries, and because of their boundaries, it's always good to ask how they perceive this identity while also associating these terms. But overall, I think there's like a general like accepting consensus, and obviously we can have a discourse afterwards. So for the polycurious, my babies, they are curious about polyamory or just like consensual non-monogamous stuff. But they're not really sure if they want to take the jump yet, and they're not really sure how to navigate. I usually see couples who are just like, oh, we're new to this, and like, we would love a teacher or a mentor, but we also want to fuck you and date you. So I don't know how to do this. So always keep that open. And it's, some people are like, they have a lot of experience and they're tired, and that emotional work and effort, like, you don't have to give that to anybody, especially that education. So just be mindful of like letting people know when you're polycurious and seeing if they're interested in doing that. And if not, then maybe you can educate yourselves through some resources that I'll provide later. So another thing I want to say though is for people who are polycurious, I want to warn them to not impose the monoculture of dating onto poly/C&M culture in attempts to justify the potential of jumping into it or not. because the culture, like monogamous culture, is very different than poly or consensual non-monogamous culture at times. So it doesn't justify itself. So moving on, I've mentioned consensual non-monogamy, or CNM. This one is really interesting. I have done some research, like psychological studies on it before, so if anyone wants to hit me up about it after, we could talk. But for CNM, it's usually a unit or a couple, and they're dating each other committedly, and they decide to open up the relationship to other people, and outside of their coupleship, they can explore an emotional, spiritual, sexual, or financial relations with other people as long as it is consensual. Tom just moved and I'm like, what's happening? Right, so if they do that with other people and explore outside their unit, and they decide that this is going great, I would love this long term, and it really works with this other person or other people, then they can go and become polyamorous by having that discussion. So polyamory is when you have long-term committed relationships with multiple people. So this can look like multiple facets. You can have where 3 people are all dating each other at once. You can have 2 people dating each other seriously while one person is dating another person seriously. Or you can have 2 people dating each other seriously with one person, that same person dating another person seriously, and the other person casually dating other people. So it's you have to talk about it, but if it's long-term committed and serious, then it's poly. So let's say you have a lot of love and you really want to give it to multiple people, and it's really fun and great, but you're not like interested in integrating any much more of your living circumstances. Like, it's real out here, it's hard, and you just found a lot of self-love for yourself. And that doesn't mean you don't want to be intimate with other people, but you really want to live on your own. So I would suggest solo poly, where usually when people engage in solo poly or identify as solo poly, their main focus is to love and take a lot of extra time and care for themselves first. They want to have their needs met. And then we have individuals who are interested in polymonoflux. I'm gonna say that one because it's easier than the other word. So polymonoflux are people who are comfortable with being fluid, and like, let's say they're in a monogamous relationship and then they flux into poly, and then, you know, that doesn't work out anymore, and then you can flux back into mono. It's like a very fluid relationship. It's really fun, but it's really hard to always have that conversation. Okay, so now those are some avenues of love. I also want to talk about friendship, which is another avenue of love, and I think something that's really important to queer. So this photo says, "These flowers are for my boys," and we love it. It's really hard with Western culture and society, and it's even harder now with COVID. But, you know, ideally you do things like hold hands with your friends. And as a Vietnamese person, it's actually very common to like link arms or hold hands with like other women and not assume that, you know, they're a couple or they're lesbian, etc. Sleepover is also really fun, but they're very sex divided. But if we can alleviate some depression and some like touch starvation in Western society, such as like holding hands or giving that prolonged hugs that a lot of people mention that they feel loved that way, that'd be wonderful. Also, compliment your guy friends, and, you know, if you need to make it clear that you're not hitting on them, do so. But if anything, like, fuck around and find out boundaries. But have fun and give love when you can. Okay, so that's all the fun stuff. I want to mention a few things that aren't as fun but are very important, especially to our culture. And then we can go into journaling. Okay, so a question that I get a lot when I come out to people like, hey, I'm poly, they're like, oh, I could never because I get so jealous. And it's like, ooh, what can you do about that? And I think something that I perceive as toxic monogamous culture is how when people get jealous, they either tell their partner, like, stop talking to her, or like delete him and like unfollow them. And it's like, I really don't want to change who I am as a person. Like, authentically, if I want to be nice, or if I am nice, then I want to continue to be who I am. In addition to, like, why would I sever this like 3-year friendship for this like new forming romantic relationship? It's difficult for a lot of people, and I think it's really unhealthy to rid of support systems, especially our friends and family, and like people reporting cousins and stuff too, which is really weird. Anyways, I think when we are feeling jealous, it's very like natural and normal, and it's a healthy indication of how we can grow. And by managing our jealousy, these are some things that we can do. When we feel it, I mean, it's within yourself first. Sometimes it's not like physically visible to other people, but when you feel it, like, take a moment for self-reflection. Ask yourself, what do you need right now? Like, maybe it's some space, and you don't have to announce that space, but you know, communication on needing space is good. But then you can also have a conversation with yourself. And the really difficult part, I think, with being poly is sometimes, you know, you think you have a bunch of people that you could talk to, which you do, and they're all loving and stuff. But I think the main focus is also remembering to nurture yourself, and having a conversation with yourself and being honest with yourself is really difficult because you really got to dig up that emotional stuff back there. And then you could journal if you don't want to have an out loud conversation with yourself. When you can and ready, give yourself a lot of self-compassion and love for every person that was there. And then when you're ready, like, and you think it's correct or the situation calls for it, like, work on yourself. What you can then do during that period of working on yourself, you can set some boundaries, talk to every party, and create a plan on how you want to move forward. But again, it's natural, it's normal. We can all do it, and we can all grow from it. So,
and Mimi, quick check-in. We got until 55.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Just heads up, but you're all good.
Thank you. Okay, so here's some resources for jealousy. I have an article that has a bunch of links in it. There's a free book online on Ethical Slut, which is Intro Guide to Poly. We have a Kindle, which is $2. It's less than 30 pages long. It's Polyamory and Jealousy, a More Than Two Essentials Guide. And if you really want additional support, there's also Polyaffirmist Therapists. Okay, another not so fun thing, but very important to address, is polyphobia. And I'm not even going to try to attempt to pronounce the other word. It's a fear or disgust of polyamory, whether outwardly or inwardly, towards people who feel love more than one person, to more than one person. The only thing I can say to that is the best thing we can do is educate ourselves, and when we're comfortable, educate other people, and challenge and question other people and within ourselves, like, why is there fear? Why is there disgust? Usually the answer is because capitalism sucks. If you want more details on that later, we can talk. Okay, so another thing that I want to address before we get into the journaling, last thing, is that there are, like, personally for me, I found that there are limitations during our time, like the 21st century, to explore poly or consensual non-monogamy and all the other wonderfully queer things in between. There is limitations, I think. And, you know, if it's not knowing what it is in the first place, you know, we don't have exposure, or maybe it's just having a first bad first impression, or hearing it and like hearing polygamy and then associating it, they're not the same thing, but then your like connotations, you know, you have to unravel that too. Another thing you have to unravel is the monogamous culture that we have been ingrained in learning for decades. I'm assuming all of y'all are older than 10. And unraveling the monogamous culture ingrained to us in the last like 2 decades. And then we have to adapt to a whole new culture, which is poly or consensual monogamous culture. And unfortunately, it's really difficult within a capitalistic society to truly experiment, gain some time to refresh ourselves, and then go out and try again and say that it's for me, because we have to use time and resources. And most of us are under the poverty line. And due to our social economic status, we don't have money to support multiple partners. And unless one is privileged, which that's nice. If you need a sugar daddy, please hit me up. Not me though. I need a connection. but because of our socioeconomic status and our background, we can't continuously try these different relationships, feel emotionally hurt by romantic relationships, because they're very deeply intertwined with emotionally how we feel and how we react and behave after. Yeah, I just think it's unfortunate. But anyways, also other things in our background, maybe we grew up with a very strict religion, I'm gonna say less, and other things are living with our parents and being financially independent. It's really hard to fuck or hook up with other people when you got to be mindful of your mom in the other room. I'm sorry, Mom, because college. Okay, so I don't know how much time I have left, maybe not a lot, but if we could take like 2-3 minutes to just write these questions down.
That's right. That's as much time as you got.
Hey, I love it when I time it right. Some self-love there. So if we can do 2 or 3 minutes, you want to write these questions down, and then take some time for yourself later to journal, you can. But ask yourself, and these questions are ideally to help us figure out authentically where we're really at, and remind ourselves that it's not who we are as people, but the systems that are in place that make it difficult for us to be fully authentic. So how can we address that? And then how can we still find small avenues to be authentic? The question, how does it affect how we create meanings to relationships and their expectations? How can we identify harmful dogmas such as Western cis heteronormative roles and subvert them? How can we then create safe spaces for us to explore our queerness and sustain the identity formation? If anybody has any questions on what any of that means, I also have a questions portion, so let me know, or you can contact me. So let me know.
If anyone has any questions, I mean, now's the time. Please, we got 2 minutes.
Awesome. Oop,
oh my
sorry.
gosh, thank you for that, Mimi.
What's
Oh
up?
yes, just thank you for that. Thank you. This was really informative. There's so many things that I had questions and concerns about as well, and I feel like this gave me the understanding that, okay, on the right track, but still a lot more to learn. Loved the queering and friendships. I'm very queer and in love with all my friends.
Yes, oh my God.
I love that. I'm staying with one of them now. He's upstairs sleeping.
That's great, that's good.
Oh, man. Yes, okay. Hi, Tom. Yeah, anyone has any questions? I see inside the chat, someone, Seren, said something that came to my attention 2 days ago was asking permission to give compliments. In a convo with someone, they mentioned how much they hate receiving unsolicited compliments. And while it seems a little odd to some of us who love compliments, she thinks it's super important that everyone is at different stages of self-image, body confidence, and it's just sometimes important to have that convo with your friends. Compliment your friends, whether they're guys, strangers, your partner, whoever, compliments. Okay, quick question for you. Do you have any expertise on knowledge on asexuality and how our culture has a difficult time understanding that you could share?
I don't want to say I have expertise on it. I feel like I read a few articles, and sometimes I also question, like, what do scholars know, being one. The only thing that I know, like, I don't really have, like, I have mutual friends who are asexual, but I don't personally have like close friends who are asexual. I think the only thing I can really say about that is, wait, what was the question again? Let me double check. How our culture has a difficult time understanding it. Did you share? Our culture having a difficult time understanding asexuality. I mean, I would agree with Tom, because he low-key said, or he like whispered, like, hypersexualized. I mean, our Western society like sells sex, and that's like a whole phrase itself. Sex sells. And with Western culture, strangely enough, it being really religious, but also selling sex so much, we don't have a lot of niches for us to discuss asexuality. And, like, you know, asexual people, depending where they want to say they're at on the spectrum, like, they can feel romantic, or they can feel at times sexual, but or engage in physical activity, but, you know, if they don't want to have sex, just communicate that you want to learn more and how you can help.
Mimi, you're a gem. Thank you so much for this. Please hit us with that PowerPoint. We need those.
References if you need any additional, if you want to look into anything I said. Oh, I just want to thank y'all for having me. And I also want to give a special thank you to Tom for connecting us and being a loving and compassionate person.
Yes, compassion.
And
okay,
then
listen.
You'll need to contact me. Screenshot.
Everyone, please say thank you to Mimi, or give the waves, snaps, give all the love. That was wonderful. Everyone, we're segueing into a breath moment, more grounding. Everyone just wants to take a moment to close your eyes. We're going to breathe in and out. Just close your eyes. We're going to breathe in love and breathe out love. Take a deep breath, 3 deep breaths for yourself at your own pace. Breathe in love. Breathe it out. Breathe in love and breathe out love. Breathe in love and breathe out love.
Thank you.
Hi, Michael.
Hi. I am so in my feelings right now. I've been just, first of all, thank you, Sid. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you, Mimi. Thank you, Caroline, in the background producing. And thank you everyone for showing up here on Sunday for these empathy workouts. Yeah, I definitely got a workout today. From the beginning, where Fatima was talking about the heart chakra, I woke up this morning, and in my meditation, which is part of my self-love routine, I had a really intense, sharp pain in my chest that I just like was breathing into, and trying to gather some information from. And I think throughout this session, I've had different sensations that I'll need to reflect on as well. So I just want to encourage you all to just to reflect on what you experienced, what you learned, where you felt reactions, where you didn't. For me, it actually brings us to the question that I want to lead our next section off with. But before we do that, Caroline, would you pull up the rules? So for our empathy workout today, we wanted to make sure to throw in a heavy dose of self-love practice. On previous empathy workouts, we've been asked, like, what are some ways that we practice self-love? And actually, that's not very eloquent. The Actually Curious Happy Hour edition, I realized after we put it out, and as I was going through some grieving from losses that I experienced in 2019, that these questions were written out of the self-love practice that I had to institute in order to heal from these losses. So hopefully these will inspire us all to find parts of ourselves that we really love. So for the rules today, we're gonna stick with the traditional Actually Curious rules. We're gonna have 3 volunteers step up. And then we each will take a chance answering the question, and then everyone else will root them on. So this is about, it's not easy for everyone to express love for themselves. This exercise is for us to practice it in a safe space with one another. So I'm really counting on everyone. If you are currently off camera, now's a great time to come on camera and help cheer people on. Some snaps when people are showing love for themselves is a good way to silently cheer them on. Or sometimes I like to pound on my chest. So that's another way you can cheer people on as they're sharing love. But this is a community effort to really model what it looks like to unapologetically love on ourselves this Valentine's Day. So at the end, we're gonna vote on whoever we think showed the most love for themselves. Everybody is a winner, but just so we can advance, we'll select one person who will stick on for the next round, and then 2 more volunteers will come up for the next question. Cool, so I need 3 volunteers. You can volunteer by going to the reactions button and clicking the raise hand. The more the merrier. Let's see, we got Danny, we got 1. I want to see these coming in. We should have extra so that the next round we could just flow right in and get as many questions in as possible. And Caroline, will you tell me how much time we have for this round before the breakout rooms? So that's the other surprise, is we're going to save a little time to go into breakout rooms to discuss 2 additional questions. All right, so we've got 4. Okay, so let's go with 5. Wow, I love this. Okay, it's on me. The host can share too. Thank you, Caroline. All right, so my first, the first question is, what do you love most about yourself? And we have, let's see, can we throw a spotlight on 3 contestants while I answer? So I cheated a little bit because I knew what the question was going to be. But the thing that I love the most about myself right now is my desire to get really curious about the tough emotions and to just create the space to slow down and journal. And I'm really grateful to have a loving partner that I can bounce a lot of these thoughts off. Sometimes I think I share almost too much, maybe a little too much. Maybe I need a therapist for some of it. Maybe, but I love that I'm aware now about this idea that if there's this pain in my body, that maybe there's an emotion tied to it, and I could just like keep going back to revisiting it. Okay, all right, so who are going to be, shall we go with Ruby, Danny, because I see those early, and Laura. Ruby, you want to lead us off? What do you want about yourself?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, in full effect.
How's that? Better. Okay.
Wait.
I love about myself that I truly try to find the joy, no matter the circumstance. I think joy is like an act of rebellion, and it's refusal to, like, in whatever terms, like, don't let the man get you down. Like, nobody can rob your sunshine from you permanently. Only you can do that. So it's kind of like I'm sticking it to the man when I decide to find joy, no matter the circumstance.
I love that, Ruby. All right. So Danny, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Where are you calling from, Danny? I think you're new. You're new?
I am. This is my first time here. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, happy to be here. This is amazing. I love this space. Yeah, so what I love most about myself, my open mind, honestly. I just feel like I'm always ready and willing to learn about things that I don't understand, learn about people that I don't understand. And it just, I feel like I fill my heart with so much more love when I'm accepting of things that aren't familiar, and always willing to change my mind about things when they're challenged. And yeah, I just feel like I grow a lot faster that way. So I appreciate that about myself.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing, Danny, and welcome. Hey, Laura.
Hi, everybody. I'm grateful for this space today. This is my first time too. I love about myself that I have an endless sense of possibility. So I truly believe in the beauty of humanity, and that we are so much more than the sum of our parts. And I love that about myself.
Laura, welcome. Thank you. Where are you calling in from, Laura?
I'm calling in from DC.
All right. So I'm making a slight change to the rules. We're not going to vote. I just want everyone in this session to practice just like hearing these joyful shares and seeing if you can even just like feel what the person is sharing, like just feel that love with them. I think just hearing you all share these things that were lighting you up kind of just made my shoulders like loosen and melt quite a bit. And I just want to encourage everyone to give that a try as you hear everyone else share. So it looks like we already have 2 new volunteers. Sid, would love to see some more. Who's going to be our 3rd volunteer to hop in on this next question? Oh, we've got Mari. All right. Sid?
I'm here.
You'll lead us off, and then
We got Jennifer too.
Jennifer and Mari after. Okay, cool. So Sid, the question is, I'm
like, what is he doing?
okay, the question is, we all have at least one go-to dance move. Show us yours.
Oh, hot. hot. What's my go-to dance move? My mom told me as a child I had club arms. This is it.
I love show off those club arms.
All right, I can keep going, I'm gonna just slow it down now. I ain't got no music, no nothing, Jesus.
I think my
I ain't got nothing. Okay, do a little.
Bad worm.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. No, I mean, honestly, any dance move is my favorite dance move. It's oh, because I was speaking. Okay,
Oh
it doesn't
man,
matter. I'm just moving around.
this is a secret hack for whenever you're feeling down, just like, or you need a little bit of self-love, just like do something like totally ridiculous.
Yes.
Only like, just because you can.
Literally, I twirl around the streets of Brooklyn all day long.
Jennifer rolling her sleeves up. She's ready to go. Jennifer, where are you calling in from?
How the hell am I supposed to follow that? I am calling in from Hood River, Oregon. We are totally blanketed in snow, no moving anywhere today, which is actually really wonderful.
All right, we're glad we could help you get your movement in here today.
Right.
All right, so what you got for us, Jennifer?
Okay, well, here I am just in bed, but one move that I will go to often, and it's pretty appropriate for today, being Valentine's Day, is the dish it out. You just dish out the love, whatever the song is. This tends to work. Just standing in one place doing that, just going to your own, whatever it is, it just seems to work.
How appropriate. Oh man, thank you for coming in and dishing out the love from Oregon.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here today.
Happy Valentine's Day, Mari. Welcome.
Hi.
All right. You had some three real, I think I'll put myself in there, 3 really strong lead-ins, but close us out on this question.
For sure. Oh, I am so excited about this question. I've actually, like, as a personal journey for myself, have committed to daily movement in 2020. So this is something that I I'm a dancer. I used to dance and choreograph and haven't really been able to this year because of the pandemic. So I've committed myself to prompts and daily movement. So I love this question. I'm very excited to answer it. I feel like my go-to when we're just hanging around, or if I'm trying to do whatever, I do the shimmy. I do a lot of the shoulders and a lot of back. So a lot of this.
Yes. I had no clue how that one was going to go, but you all made my day. I felt called. I was like, Synead's up. She'll 1 out of 3, but you all crushed it. Thank you for modeling that bravery and helping us get a little loose, a little silly here on Sunday. All right. So Caroline, do we have time for one more? Or is it time for breakout rooms?
We can do one.
Okay. Can we get 3 more volunteers? We've got Javier, Mina, and just need one more. You can, I see 3. And the third is Danny. Danny, back up. She wants some more. Amazing. All right. So everyone else, you'll get the small rooms, which we're trying for the first time. So I'm really excited to do that. One will be led by Sid and one will be led by me. Both awesome, probably different flavor. Okay. All right. So Danny, how about you lead us off? And since this is COVID times and many of us are in rooms by ourselves. So I think this one is a really good one. Let's just visualize, and I'll even say set an intention and maybe set a phone call in. But if you could close your eyes and transport yourself anywhere at this moment, where would you go?
Oh, 100,000. Oh wait, am I answering this out loud?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
yes.
I love it. I love the excitement.
You better answer that question. You better answer that question.
sure.
Go off. Go the hell off.
No, I would go to Maracas Beach in Trinidad. I miss my family dearly, and it's my favorite place on earth.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I want to go to Trinidad too. My gal.
Wait, do you know each other?
No, that's amazing.
I was about to say I wanted to go to Grand River and stay at my grandmother's house, my great grandmother's house in Trinidad.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
So we're going to Carnival next year. Trinidad. Okay, I get the off. Okay.
Okay. Oh man, I just got blown away by your entry and your excitement. All right, I know that. Who else is up? Javier.
For me, gut instinct immediately is my grandmother's living room. Because it's been like, oh my God, like 12, 13 months since I've been able to hug her. And truly, that is like the most like draining thing in this whole fucking pandemic. But then like somewhat more for myself, I guess, and like after that, somewhere in like Soma, like a gay bar, a leather bar, just honestly like going off me missing like a queer space so, to enjoy some freedom.
And then our third volunteer, just because my mind is I forgot who was it?
Mina, M-I-N-A.
Apologies, Mina. And
okay.
where would you transport yourself to?
I would transport myself to a local Koreatown where I am of South Korean descent, where I have the opportunity to reflect on myself as well as going back to my own roots and be open and be vocal about the entire community, as well as being an ally to others.
I'm truly loving everyone's the common thread here of everyone going back home to like roots. I think that is so important and so beautiful. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Amazing. I'll answer just to close us off with two questions. So first of all, I'm really grateful to be right here. I think I will have a really amazing bit of time to myself to reflect and go through this roller coaster of emotion that is love, but that with all the curiosity and new knowledge that's been inserted. And I'll also say, I wish if I could transport myself anywhere, though, I would transport myself to Copenhagen to be with Caroline so that we could just really engage in discussion about today and this really beautiful exploration of universal love. All right. And with that, Caroline, are you able to throw us into breakout rooms for the first time? We've never done that. This is actually curious first. And then we have, for those who hopefully will stick around, we're announcing another first at the end of the event. And we have one other exercise here as well. I was worried we might lose some of you in the particle transfer from breakout room back to big room. Okay, one of the things I love about myself is my nerdiness, and I'm showing it on full display. Welcome back, Sid.
Hello, hi, back again. It was wonderful. We really got a lot of good stuff going on in there. Nicole had a few more things she wanted to say. She was still going, she got cut off, but I'm really happy we wrapped up on that, Nicole. So thank you. Okay, yeah, we've got a group share for 10 minutes and then we have Indy Rishi coming up for some laughter. So
yeah, I mean, anyone from my group want to kind of lead off with it? Oh, okay, I see Mina's ready to go.
For Caroline's group, we just had an honest conversation and that was really great. I started off, and so was there in the breakout room 1. So I started out with I feel free when I use creative expression through art and creative writing, and how it helps me cope with my mental health and something like that. And I've heard someone say that they feel free when they talk to people who actually care for them, as well as like listening to music in a therapeutic way. So I feel happy for them, for all they know, depending on how they cope with something, like, as far as I know. So again, I feel that this is a great conversation for me to get involved with.
Awesome, thank you.
No problem.
So if anyone wants to share reflections, you can just come off mute and just start talking.
I think there was a lot of, so I was also in the same group as Mina. I was saying there's a lot of people in our group where I think there's a lot of people coming from different parts of the world. And I think we all share this like sense of passion and love for music and dancing. So we shared a lot about how we feel safe when we're dancing or when we're singing, or, you know, I think Danny talked about concerts, which I think we all miss at some point. And as everybody was sharing, it was really interesting to see how no matter where we're at and what, you know, we're going through, we have these like commonalities. So it's just how we're all interconnected with each other through our, you know, similar things that we're missing and the things that we really feel our most authentic selves. So to me, that was really powerful to hear the commonalities across, regardless of where we're at.
So you all, it seems like a theme of just getting some comfort, some joy from hearing other people's expression and seeing your commonality.
For me, I said that nothing says I love you like emotional safety.
Mm.
When someone sees your shadow side and loves you up unconditionally, but also with accountability, as opposed to like shunning you or shaming you or leaving you. They choose to like love you more, especially because it's hardest for ourselves to love our shadow parts. Mm-hmm. So to have that kind of unconditional love, I have that with a few friends, and it's like, that's how we heal.
Yeah.
I love that. Emotional safety is so crucial. It's so hard to find these spaces where, you know, you're vulnerable. You are vulnerable and you're open, and to have someone not receive you in that way, it can be so difficult. So I totally hear that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and I love that you shared that you have friends, a network of people that you can show that part of you. I think that's also a really great practice if any of you all don't know exactly where you can do that. Like take some time and maybe take a journal session to or to see where you could cultivate that relationship by testing it. Bit by bit, and testing your comfort zone.
Is it okay if I offer up what you said, Megan?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Yes,
no, it's okay. She said that she feels free when she's listening to music, and I know for me, I was very into that. You want to talk a little bit more about it?
Sure. Music is just so, it's a basic thing. So music doesn't have to be like a whole big band and all of this. It's just simple rhythms. And somehow when you hear the rhythms or you hear the beat or you hear the melody or you hear the lyrics, it's freeing. It can be freeing, especially if it's something that you connect to. And it was interesting how it tied into a lot of what everyone said, because it's almost unconditional. You know, you partake in it and it doesn't ask anything of you, and you don't have to meet any special requirements. You just have to to absorb it and be present in it. And it really is freeing, you know, like I think it was Danny might have said when, you know, you go to a concert or a few people said the club or whatever, you know, when that song comes on and everybody's listening to, it's like such an amazing moment when everybody's dancing to the same beat. But it can be individual, it could be group, it doesn't even matter. It's just in you, and it allows you to kind of release in that moment. But I also like the what you were saying, Synead, and I think it's Nicole, about the water and the cleansing properties of the water, because that was one of the things that came to me initially, because when you get in the shower and you're just taking a shower and you're like, okay, this is a moment for me.
Right.
But you know, everybody does that. So, but when you go to the ocean, and it can be much more transformative. But you know, these are things that are just you take for granted, but they really, if we look at them as the opportunity to kind of heal ourselves and love ourselves, it really can be restorative, especially if you look at it from that perspective.
Right.
If I may, part of my experience with the water was tackling a lot of fear and going into the water and being confident about tackling that fear and rejoicing. And it was also very cleansing, you know, kind of in the, like with Lululemon, the concept is do something you fear once a day, like take on a fear once a day and tackle it. And that was one of the times that I felt successful.
Come on, Nicole. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody for sharing your perspectives. I mean, we have to see we have like a lot of congruent themes going on here, interconnected themes, which is really cool. And to see how they all kind of show up as well. And so Mimi said The Waters by Mick Jenkins is a great mixtape. Come on. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Mimi and Tom. Throwing the goods. Need that PowerPoint and the mix. Thank you. So we're gonna move into our next part. Lord, sorry, don't mind my phone. She has her own will and life. We are moving into our next portion with Indi Rishi, using laughter as transformative tools. Where's oh my God. Yeah, there he is. What's up? This is what we're gonna be doing today, y'all. So Mr. Indi Rishi Singh, tell us about yourself. What are we gonna be doing with you today? Talk about it.
What can I say about myself? At this point, I feel like I'm just a living joke. Like, you know, I mean, at this point, like there's even no point in taking myself seriously, you know, because like you look at the whole entire world and everything seems like it's upside down. People who care about things don't get any support, and those who get taken advantage of other people get support and get attention. I'm like, wait, the only way I can like actually live in this world consciously is by laughing at the inequality, the injustice, the lack of like understanding relationship intelligence, right? Like all across the board. If I didn't laugh, I would literally either be caught in substance abuse or practicing unhealthy habits, whatever it would be. But like laughter is like this incredible thing that saved me, and not just saved me, it's actually allowed me to tap into parts of my own mind, my own consciousness, and also like improved all my relationships, even with people I just meet for the first time. So, wow. I mean, can you imagine like my girlfriend, how she feels with the laughter? I mean, we when we approach difficult situations, we laugh first and then we deal with the situation. And
that's so cool.
It has such a big difference, because we don't ignore the circumstances, but what if we circumvent the stress and the hormones that we release and all the negative feedback loops that we create when we are stressed out and we are nervous and anxious and depressed? Like, what does that do to our decision making? Like, are we good decision maker? You tell me, Are we good decision makers? Like when we are stressed out?
No, I know I'm not.
So certainly we have to start like thinking about these things. And I think for me, you know, as much as I like laughter seems to be like so silly, like what am I doing with laughter? What the heck?
Mhm.
You know, at this point though, I've taught laughter at like places like Disney, at places like Rand Corporation, which is a bunch of the top scientists in the world. Like I've brought laughter into corporations, into organizations. I've taught it at schools, right? And like for me, it's like understanding that everybody is missing this valuable ingredient, which is like an incredible tool that humans have. Let me ask you guys. Let's see if anybody in the chat can answer. How many times do babies laugh in a day? They've tested this. American babies. How many times do they laugh in a day? Who can answer that? For a cookie, for a virtual cookie. 100 times, 25, 37, 10 times, 300 times. Ruby wins. Price is right. Come on now, Ruby.
Whoa.
300 times. Babies laugh 300 times, right? In every day. How many times do American adults laugh in a day? What do you think? It's probably gone down. Like during this pandemic, right? So the last time they recorded that, right, they researched it was 7 to 10 times. But now it's probably gone down. All right. So like, let me ask you guys a question. Do we have to tell a baby, you didn't get to 300 laughs. We got to get you got to get you on a regiment to get to 300. Like, do we do that with babies, or are they laughing on their own? Like, were we all babies as well? So that's something to think about. Like, if we were all babies, right? Like, we were all babies. We were laughing 300 times. And then when we got older, what happened in your school? What happened in your families? What happened in your society? Did you get told to laugh more, to continue laughing? Or did you get told, shh, shh, no laughing? No laughing in class. No laughing with your friends. No laughing. Okay? No laughing. How many of us have been told over and over again, no laughing? But babies laugh 300 times. Yeah, Jennifer, thank you. But babies laugh 300 times. Are babies doing it because they're like really super intelligent? They're like, oh my God, I gotta laugh 300 times a day. Like, they don't know that. We were all babies. So like, what was happening to us? So in the chat, I want you guys to write, what was happening to us when we were babies? Like, who's a scientist here? Who's like looking, like when we talk about self-help, discovery, and like studying ourselves, we should also understand, how did we end up here? Like, how did we as human beings end up being adult human beings? So how did we get to be this? Like, what happened with babies? Like, what was happening with all of us when we were babies? Like, do you guys know what's happening with you when you're a baby? Like, physiologically. Like, think about not even, don't worry about the emotions. What's happening to your body when you're a baby? Like, literally, when you're a little baby, what's happening to your body? What are you developing? Can you share that? Babies are growing the most between 0 and 2 years old. Exactly. Our brain. Holy cow. Like, you know how fast our brain is, like, growing, the neuroplasticity in our brain? What about like our endocrine system? What about our immune system? Are we building our immune systems when we're babies too? Interesting. Our heart. Yeah, cardiovascular system is like, it's like, we're talking about like supercharged growth, right? When we're all babies. So can we, like, I know like it's kind of like jumping a gun, but like, think about it as a scientist. Can we associate laughter with development? Is that a decent association we can make? Like, if we are laughing 300 times a day and we're developing all these parts of our body and our brain and everything at the same time, maybe laughter is actually amplifying amplifying the effectiveness of those systems and the growth of those systems. So when we stop laughing as we get older, guess what we're doing to those systems? What about the babies who don't smile? Well, I mean, we gotta tickle them then. Yeah, the baby who's not smiling, you better be tickling that baby, okay? Or you just let that baby pee on you. I guarantee you, they will laugh. When they poop or pee on you, they will. You let them run around naked and poop wherever they want. They will laugh. I guarantee you. But I will say, like, something to think about for all of us is, can we start to improve the amount of laughter we do? Like, can we just test it for ourselves? So before I do a little exercise and we'll all do it together, I want to like just kind of like give you guys that note. Can we start to experiment with laughter in our own lives? Like, can we use it as a tool to see, does it improve our immune system? Does it improve our cardiovascular system? Does it improve our relationships? Does it improve certain, can we just do it a little bit more? Like, let's say however much you laugh, maybe some of you guys laugh a lot already. Laugh double. like double the amount of laughter you do. Like just in a day, just like find more reasons to laugh. If you don't want to watch comedy movies, maybe just look out at nature. Like look out at the world. Look, I'm looking over the whole city. I can see San Francisco. I'm not gonna laugh because it's so silly. This whole city, this whole idea of people living on top of people. I'm gonna laugh at that, right? We can laugh at anything, right? Comedians make us laugh at things that are serious all the time. So we can laugh at a lot of different things. But start to experiment more about laughter. And then also, I want you guys to do your own research. Go and look into laughter. Don't believe me. Never believe any weird dude, brown dude. Okay, we have this notorious ability to create cults, and then people then believe everything we say, and then the next thing you know, like some crazy shit goes out, and then there's wild country. All right, like don't believe anything I'm saying. Okay, do your own research, right, and go and look up like what's the science with laughter. Like, did you guys know that laughter actually improves your immune system? Like, go check it out. It actually it flushes when you laugh really loudly with their diaphragm and your stomach, right? Like it actually like it's called mirthful laughing, right? So when you laugh like Santa or Buddha, right? You're laughing with your whole body. You actually squeeze your lymphatic duct, right? So your lymph nodes get flushed and you get brand new immune cells. Like the old immune cells get flushed out and new immune cells are able to kind of like come into existence because the old ones get flushed. So literally when we laugh, we are improving our immune system. So like you can look that up. Cardiovascular system, laughing for 1 minute is equivalent to 10 minutes of rowing. So like we can exercise by laughing, right? We don't even have to go to the gym. So yes, laugh more, play more, find more reasons to play. And then that kind of like leaks into our relationships too, right? Because like, guess what? When we're laughing with people more, how does that feel? How does it even feel? Think about it in your own life when you have people who are in your life that are jovial, that are more like jovial and joyful. Do we like being around them? Or do we like go like, oh man, that person's having too much fun. I gotta get away. And then how about the people who are too serious? How do we feel about them? Right now we're kind of in an epidemic of like mental health. We're in a silent pandemic. I've been actually saying this at my city hall meetings because I've been trying to create a mental health task force with my city hall because I feel like we have this mental health pandemic as well, right? And people like are getting even more dehumanized, right, during this process. So maybe we need to start leaning in more, even with our family members, our loved ones, maybe who are too stressed out right now. Maybe they're too anxious. Maybe they're a little extra depressed. Maybe we can go and bring laughter to them, right? Maybe we could just hug them and laugh while we hug them and see if that's contagious, right? Maybe we can like watch some more funnier things with them rather than like killing stuff. Maybe with the kids that are in our lives, can we like find more reasons to play and laugh with them? Because the kids can now they kind of bring out our own inner child, right? Okay, that being said, we got all these great ideas. Let's do a laughter, okay? and mind you, I think this is a good opportunity, kind of like, if you need to put I got my phone, I'm like using this phone. So here's one of my favorite laughters, okay? So I'm gonna get you guys warmed up really quickly. But first, let's do a quick little like breathing exercise with this, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like a belly, right? And we're gonna do belly and all the way up to a head thing, right? So first, let's actually go backwards, right? Let's start at the belly. Can you guys do a belly laugh? Let's see. So you guys think about Santa Claus, you got like the jovial Santa, jovial. Right? So I want you guys to laugh from your belly, right? So you're gonna make your like belly like kind of like extend. So you could like tap your you can feel your abs. Awesome. All right, you got it. Now try to see if you can laugh from your throat. All right, let's do a throat laughter. Here we go. Oh my god. Sometimes when you're faking laughter, it actually turns into real laughter. Just letting you know, okay? So if you guys can't do it, just try to fake it and it'll become real laughter. Okay, the last laughter. Okay, we're gonna laugh from our head. Okay, so first I want you to make it. How would you laugh from your head? Japanese do it really well. Or you could just laugh without making noise. Okay, that's like a lot of workout too, right? Does laughing without noise actually work too? I mean, that's something to think about, right? Like, can we laugh silently? Interesting, interesting. Okay, so that's just a warm up. But before I do that, really quickly, does anybody have any questions or any thoughts? I can't. Let's see. Do I have a co-pilot with this? Anybody
My abs
co-piloting with?
hurt. My abs hurt. Okay.
What do you?
My
How,
abs hurt.
can you guys share really quickly, just really like just like with a quick phrase? How are you guys feeling right now? Like, what's going on? Those of you guys are laughing.
Elated.
Elated. Lighter. Feeling good. Feel relaxed. Nice.
I feel
Nice. Funny. My cheeks ache. Nice. You know, we have like almost like 30 to 40 muscles in our face. Can you imagine how many muscles we exercise when we laugh? Interesting. So you might not ever need to get plastic surgery if you laugh. You'll actually like all these like, you know, like I'm actually 108 years old. So just letting you guys know, you know, sometimes laughter keeps you nice and young. No Botox necessary, just laugh. Yeah, dude. And by the way, laughter has this beautiful thing about doing this thing with your eyes. Like people like when they see your eyes and you're laughing, it's like very contagious. There are actually neurons in your brain because it's called the mirror neuron effect. So it's like the same thing with yawning, right? When we see somebody yawning, we yawn. The same thing is the case with laughter. So when we see somebody else laughing, we also start laughing. So that's a mirror neuron effect, which is kind of cool. Like what? Like nature and evolutionary biology has actually created like us. We've actually gotten to this point in human history because we are playful creatures, right? And so playfulness is a really big part of our happiness and our joy and even our relationships, right? So, okay, all right, here's the next laughter we're gonna do. What we're gonna do is next time you're in a relationship or you're building a relationship, sometimes we get angry at people, right? And like the anger, like it can go back and forth and it gets worse and worse and worse. Next time, let's try to hack it. So next time, and that make sure before you do this, make sure you get on board with your partner about this, you know, that like, hey, we're gonna do this first. So just do this. They're gonna be like, what the fuck, right? So next time you're getting angry and like, or you could feel like there's a fight brewing. Next time, I want you guys to do this laughter. It's the angry laughter. So guys, everybody do it, right? We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna look at each other and we're gonna get mad at each other, but with laughter. Oh, oh, let me see your guys' angry laughter. Oh, oh, no, 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 oh, awesome. All right. So next time you guys are getting almost, if you feel a fight brewing, you feel a disagreement brewing, an argument brewing, see if you guys can laugh and see what that does, because actually the science shows that when we laugh, we increase oxytocin when we laugh and we decrease cortisol. So what happens is we drop the fight or flight process, you know, where your hearts get like stressed out and the fight or flight thing happens. We actually drop that when we laugh and we raise our oxytocin, which is our love hormone, right? Where we actually feel more connected to other people. So you can like literally hack a fight in the future. See if you could do it. See if it works. Like I said, I don't know anything. Don't believe me. I'm not trying to start a cult. Actually, I'm trying to start a cult, but I'm trying to start a cult of not being a cult. So don't follow anything I'm saying, okay? Like do your own research, be your own scientist, be your own guru, okay? No following gurus. Be your own guru, okay? So okay, the next laughter. Okay, this laughter is a good one because I always feel like when we get like being late. Okay, let me ask you guys in the chat, who here is ever late? Are you guys ever late? You ever get late to anything? Always late, right? Jeez, okay. Let me ask you guys a question, like this a rhetorical question. Does it ever help being stressed out when you're late? Like does that, like maybe a little bit, it makes things go faster, but does it actually, like what about when somebody else is late? Like and we're stressed out that they're late. Do they hurry up? Like we're like, hurry up, you're late, hurry up, you're late. Does that help? But like it's funny because we do that all the time. We do it to ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves, right? When we're late. It's crazy how hard we are on our own selves, right? And then we're also hard on others because we're hard on ourselves and we project it. So let's hack that. Okay, let's do a little cool laugh hack. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of play this game. So the game is, you guys can follow me. I'm gonna kind of set up my camera right here, and you guys can follow what I'm doing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a watch. Maybe you have a real watch or a pretend watch. So the next time you're late, all right, you're gonna look at your watch, and we're gonna open up our vocal cords because it's important when we laugh. You want to open up your vocal cords. So we're gonna look at our watch, and we're gonna make this sound. Oh, let's go. Oh, right, and then we're gonna go. Oh, so oh, ah, let's go running, and then we're gonna like just let it out. That's like we're gonna laugh it out. Okay, you guys ready? So here we go. Oh, ah, oh, wait, hold on. What if hold on, next time you're driving a car and you're late, okay? So let's drive the car. We're driving a car. Here we are. We're driving a car. Everybody get their car. You're driving. Maybe you got your bicycle, whatever it is. All right. You're driving. And then you look at your watch. Oh, 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 ah, all right. Woo. Okay, I gotta tell you guys.
You are taking me out. You are taking me out, dude. you've got like 3 more minutes, dude.
3 more minutes. Okay, thanks for telling me. Sometimes I get so high from laughing, I completely check out of time.
I didn't even want to stop you.
I like drop out of the time-space continuum because.
Perfect.
By the way, another thing, guys, when we laugh, we get really high, and actually, scientists have studied it that when you laugh, the serotonin and dopamine that you release, it's different than taking drugs, right? So actually, I do a lot of volunteering in substance abuse communities. I go to a lot of houseless communities, and I actually bring laughter as a tool to build resilience towards substance abuse, right? So actually, we can hack substance abuse with laughter because what happens is when you laugh, your serotonin, your dopamine goes up. But unlike drugs, which they drop significantly, so you have to take the drugs again, or even if you take medications, you have to take those things again. What happens with laughter is it goes down slowly. So you can just, guess what? You can just laugh again and get high again. So we get high for free. Actually, it's not free. I accept Dogecoin, Bitcoin. I accept GameStop shares, stocks as well. So if you guys want to pay me for getting high, you're welcome to. It's just a donation-based payment service, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding actually. If you have Dogecoin, hook me up. So all right, we'll do the last laughter, and I think this one is really important because I think we also have to like understand laughter as this tool to kind of build our own strength and power, right? Because a lot of the times that we sometimes in relationships, mind you, oh my God, I totally forgot to mention this. This is a Valentine's Day broadcast, right? Guys, anybody have like, do you guys know anybody who has erectile dysfunction or like premature ejaculation? Like, hello, like this is a very tantric technique actually. Laughter is actually a brilliant technique to like circumvent premature ejaculation. So I don't know so much about women because I'm not a woman, so I can't attest for that. But like, please, if you're a woman or whatever and you have a partner, don't laugh at them, but don't do that when you're making love. But it's a way to kind of circumvent premature ejaculation because when you laugh, you actually do this wonderful thing where you recirculate all this blood and oxygen to your brain, and it actually takes away the attention from ejaculating. The laughter shows up, and then you actually can last longer. Which don't believe me. Do your own research, right? See if that works. Like before you're like when that's building, that ejaculation is building, laugh and see what happens. It's a very tantric thing that you can do. Actually, it's written in the tantric, in some like tantric treatises. They actually talk about laughter as a brilliant tool to experience sexuality even better, right? But don't laugh at your partner. Like I'm not advocating that. Okay, please. Okay, our last laughter, but not even the least. Okay, this is my favorite one because This is the laughter we use to generate power in ourselves, but it's also very kundalini. So what we're gonna do is, wherever you guys are, you could be seated, but I would advocate for you to stand up. That's like the better way to experience this, okay? So standing up, here's what we're gonna do, okay? We're gonna think about your arms being up like this. We're gonna get to this place, but not yet, right? So what we're gonna do is, this is called the sumo laughter. So you guys remember sumo wrestlers, right? They get low and they go, "Rah, rah," right? And then we're gonna do a powerful laughter, like a WrestleMania WWE laughter, okay? We're gonna get super powerful. And really, this is a laughter to kind of like, before a meeting, or before you're gonna have like a date, or before you're gonna like do something really important. This actually activates your whole nervous system. You wake it all up. So you'll be like way more sharper. You'll be way more ready for whatever you do. Actually, the anecdotes I get from this are freaking amazing. And I'm really interested. You guys, please reach out to me after you guys use these laughters. Please share with me stories using this in your life. If there's anything that has benefited you, I want to know, because it inspires me to do more. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. Get your sumo wrestler, your WWE. Get it ready to go. Here we go. Roar! Roar! Get it wide and open. Starfish. Get a starfish. Yes, you guys are awesome. Whew. Are you guys feeling pumped?
Indeed, thank you so much. You are insane, and I love every bit of it. This is perfect. I didn't know how much I needed this. Oh my God. Thank you so much for this. My face is wet. Thank you for this laughter. I love to laugh, and literally I cannot even. I want to find somebody with erectile dysfunction now to try this out. Like I want to try it out. Like, this is great. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Literally, I think we need so much more of this. I totally understand what you're saying about laughter, just literally making the world so much better. So yes, thank you. No Botox necessary, babes. We don't need that. Thank you. What else? What any last things before you go? Anything you want to say? Offer up?
Yeah. I mean, I thank you. You brought up a good point. You know, I cannot advocate more, you guys, like how important it is for us to find play and joy and laughter in our own lives more, right? And then with that, when you build that resilience, when you build that joyfulness, please take the extra. For me, you know, if not for yourself, for me, go out into the world and be of service. Go and serve those communities that are marginalized. Go to your city halls. If you have more resilience, go in city halls and actually change the policies and change the bullshit that's like in our own neighborhoods. But
Right.
first, build resilience so that when you go to those spaces, you're not going to be all depressed and frustrated, because you're
Right.
using laughter and play and joy to go deeper into those spaces.
Exactly.
To support your community. But I'm not saying that's the thing we have to always be careful of. Self-care, the self-care world, mindfulness, it's very individualized. Please don't be individualized. This process, we're all connected. So anybody else's suffering is also our suffering. Never forget that. Okay, that's very important. And that being a yogi, practicing Indian philosophy, that's a big thing that's missed in the meditation and yoga community.
Truly.
Any injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. Okay,
that's right.
So don't forget that. So if you feel depressed or anxious, it's not just because you are depressed. It's because people around you are suffering, and
That's
you're feeling
right.
it. All right. So I love you guys.
Thank you.
Keep laughing.
Thank you, indeed. We will keep laughing. Thank you so much. You're amazing.
Thank you, Indy. Yeah, I love that energy.
Woo.
Woo. I needed that as someone who sometimes can be playful and sometimes not. I just got some new tools, man. Thank you. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for hanging back. We're going to close it out with just a couple announcements and an intention for the week. So with that, Indy, you close us out on a really high note. The reason we come here on Sundays is to strengthen our resilience, strengthen our empathy muscles. Just by choosing to be here on a Sunday, we know that you're already a part of this community that wants to love yourself more so that you can share that love. We're taking that a step further. We're instituting for the very first time Actually Curious empathy workouts facilitator training. Frankly, this is part of also reaching out into the community to get some support so that as we get deeper into the year in this year-long allyship movement, that we have community members who can help take on some of the empathy workouts that I normally lead. But also, this is a really great opportunity for a side hustle. 2 weeks ago, we announced a partnership to take the tools of empathy deeper into corporate America. And as part of that, we'll be, it was a partnership with an advertising firm called Arnold Havas. In 2 weeks, we'll be leading some 300 people through their first ever empathy workshops. And we need some volunteers to help lead, not volunteers, actually, they're paid positions to help lead the breakout rooms. So in order to be prepared for that, we're setting up our very first facilitator training. They are already listed on Eventbrite. They're $40. But if there's, for some reason that that is difficult for you, shoot an email to Megan Lee Joy, whose email address is in the address. But as I said, we are trying to secure 10 facilitators for 2 days in next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe. Caroline, correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have 2 really exciting empathy workouts already planned for the next 2 Sundays. Next week will be an empathy workout with a men's coach and actually a personal friend and mentor of mine who I've found right before, I would say, the empathy movement really took to the road. And when I had a lot of self-doubt, and I reached out to him on Instagram, and he agreed to do a session with me. And I didn't have any money. He continued to be there for me throughout the whole year of 2020 and into this movement taking off. I'm so excited to share him with you. His talk will be about living our hero's journey, our own personal hero's journey, which actually I haven't even heard this talk yet. So I'm really excited. He's a big brother of mine, a adopted big brother, and I can't wait to share him with you, coming all the way from the UK. So it'll be a little late for him. And then finally, to close out Black History Month/year, we're so pleased to invite to our Zoom rooms with us, Trina and Mark Farrell, who we actually met through empathy workouts. Trina and Mark are a couple. They are both NASA scientists. They are both Black. They are both multidisciplinary. Trina has more degrees than I can recount. Mark's a celebrity DJ on top of being a NASA scientist. And when I met them, I literally immediately was like, will you please close out Black History Month with us? For we are not, I said, we're not a fucking monolith, but that was a little bit long. And so we shortened it to, we are not a monolith. So that's what we got coming up. So excited to keep this We Claim 1% movement going. Hopefully we'll share some more about that next week. But that closes us out. Let's go to our intention for the week. So our intention for the week is a reminder. You can jot this down in your notebook. I mean, I think I might start a new notebook and put this in the front just to remind me. And I love, like, Rishi, thank you. Indy Rishi, thank you for that laughter. That's a new tool in my toolkit to remind me that kindness compassion, and peace. And might I add, laughter are gifts I give for free. I can give that to myself. I can give that to any of my friends who might be suffering from early erectile dysfunction, which will be, I don't know how I'm going to get into that conversation, but kindness, compassion, and peace and laughter are gifts we give for free here at Actually Curious. And with that, happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
I love you all. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us again this week.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you, Mimi.
Thank you, Fatima.
Thank you so much. Yay.
Remember,
My
I
beauty
accept
folks.
Dogecoins, AMC shares.
You
GameStop.
accept LTC, Litecoin? Do you accept Litecoin?
No, only dark coins.
Okay.
I'm all about the shadow, baby.
I love it.
Give me those shadow coins.
Dogecoin, got you.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye, everybody. See
Bye,
you next
everyone.
week.
Bye-bye.